Why are South African cities so dangerous? South Africa is known for consistently having one of the highest murder rates in the world and for having noticeably high rates of violent and organized crime relative to other nations. From Cape Town to Port Elizabeth, there have been escalating reports of violent crimes recorded in the city, and one begins to wonder what could be the reason for this negative trend, which has become a national concern. In this video, we aim to discuss crime rates in South Africa and why most South African cities are among the world's most dangerous cities to visit. But before proceeding, we encourage you to subscribe to this channel to get notified when a new video is uploaded. For now, the focal question of the day is, why are South African cities so dangerous? Poverty, unemployment, and inequality factor. Several risk factors, including poverty and deprivation, unstable living situations, and inconsistent parenting, expose certain South African children to an increased likelihood of engaging in violent crime and criminal activity. Reports have revealed that in South Africa, most people who engage in crime lack necessities like food and shelter. Unfortunately, they can't afford these things because they are unemployed. And to survive and provide for their families, some of them have turned to stealing, drug trafficking, rape, murder, and alcohol abuse. This comes with its attendant problems, as most of the alcohol abuse and consumption are proven causes or contributing factors in numerous violent crimes, such as cases of rape, gender-based assault, murder, and attempted murder. These incidents occur in or near bars, taverns, shebeens, or nightclubs. In addition, inequality has been a contributing factor in the crime rate in South Africa because there are people who feel they are not as successful as their peers. And when frustration sets in, mounting pressure increases their motivation to commit crimes. For this reason and more, South African cities are becoming more dangerous. Sadly, these criminals have become so bold that some perceive their activities as normal. Our subsequent discussion will expound on that. The normalization of violence and crimes. Many people view violence as an acceptable and necessary means of resolving disputes, and some men even think it is acceptable for men to force women into sexual relations. In South Africa, there exists a subculture of violence and illegality that includes everything from lone thieves or rapists to more organized gangs. Except in Cape Town, where knife violence is more common, members of the subculture tend to be criminals and frequently use firearms. In this subculture, being willing to use extreme violence is a sign of strong will and credibility. Johannesburg, for instance, is considered to be among the most dangerous cities in South Africa and in the world, as robberies, burglaries, and hijackings are frequent occurrences. With a high rate of violent crimes, many people have the desire to live in gated communities and even higher private security. Generally speaking, the city's streets are dangerous, especially after dark, and this occurrence has become a day-to-day experience faced by the people. Additionally, in traditional African culture, cattle theft from rival tribes served an important social and cultural function within chiefdoms and was considered a rite of passage for young warriors. These contributing factors have placed South African cities among the world's most dangerous cities despite the existence of law enforcement agencies. So the question is, why is there an increase in the crime rate when security officials are frequently parading the street? The irregularity factor. The nation is dependent on a criminal justice system beset by several problems, such as internal division, corruption, and inefficiency. Police officers frequently work long hours out of under-resourced stations that lack basic office equipment like a photocopier or fax machine, while the only landline telephone may be out of service. A few police stations are far from their communities, while others are closed at night due to staffing issues and a lack of available officers. Office electricity may be disconnected for non-payment, or office buildings may be inaccessible due to unpaid rent. Additionally, officers of the South African Police Service, SAPS, are frequently called into life-threatening situations that they are not adequately trained to handle. The 2018 Inkobo killings, where 5 police officers and an off-duty soldier were shot and killed by armed men when they stormed a police station, is a demonstration that South African law enforcement agencies are marred with lots of irregularities and not fully equipped to tackle organized crimes. Following more attacks on police stations in the Northwest, Limpopo, Mpumalanga, Western Cape, and Northern Cape, the South Africa Policing Union, SAPU, suggested that these crimes be classified as acts of treason. Whichever way it is perceived, it doesn't negate that South African cities are fast becoming a no-go zone and alarmingly dangerous. In a few moments, we will discuss another factor contributing to this negative trend in South Africa. What is this factor? Stay tuned, as we will reveal this in a moment. Poor human resource management. In 2010, the ratio of police officers to the general population in South Africa was 1 police officer to 250 public members. This has drastically declined to 1 police officer tackling 450 members of the public in 2022. Additionally, between 1986 and 2010, the force tasked with policing the rail network was reduced by approximately 6,000, leaving it vulnerable to widespread looting of infrastructure and train arson attacks. There has also been a growing concern over hiring unskilled candidates who receive training in inadequate facilities. Although some on-duty police officers are delinquents and have been involved in criminal activities, few police officers are being dismissed from the force due to what is perceived as a culture of non-liability. Instead, disciplinary hearings have become much less frequent, skilled recruits are not being used wisely, and from 2018 to 2019, 22% of officers were promoted regardless of their performance. Nonetheless, the extremely understaffed Crime Intelligence Division of the South African Police, SAPS, was sometimes fruitful. Power tussles and marginalization of capable officers have led to the inability of this division to work as a team and tackle the growing rates of crime in South African cities. Aside from the lack of collaboration inherent in the South African Police Department, which has continued to mar the abilities of police officers to tackle crimes, another major factor why South African cities are so dangerous will be discussed shortly. Operational inefficiency and ordnance thefts in police departments. The National Prosecuting Authority, NPA, is mostly handicapped to institute legal proceedings after suspects are apprehended because police lack the necessary experience to build a strong prima facie case. This leads to extremely low conviction rates for serious crimes. For instance, out of the total number of reported robbery cases, only about 2% were convicted. The same goes for car hijackings, while only 9% of sexual offenders were convicted. Additionally, in 2020, no more than 20% of murder investigations were given a trial date, while a greater number of cases were stalled. This development has its attendant effect as criminals are let loose in South African cities, further endangering the safety of residents. Ordnance theft is also on the rise, and a 2019 report United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, UNODC, noted an increase in the availability of illegal firearms, including hundreds that are diverted from SAP's custody by corrupt officials and sold to gangs. Between 2010 and 2015, 2 SAPS colonels sold 5,000 police firearms worth millions of South African rand to gangs in the Western Cape. In 2022, 2 members of the City of Johannesburg Metropolitan Municipality, JMPD, were arrested for allegedly providing criminals with 5 rand ammunition. Between 2017 and 2020, the South African National Defence Force SANDF lost firearms, including Worth rifles, 10 Z88 pistols, 5 Beretta pistols, 4 Star pistols, and other missing or stolen ammunition. It has been feared that ordnance stolen from security forces or security firms is what is being used to commit crimes. Obviously, in a city of crime, danger is imminent, and if these crimes are not tackled, South African cities will continue to experience more crimes, making it unattractive to residents and tourists. As we end this video, we would like to hear why you think South African cities are very dangerous. Don't forget to like and share this video so others can benefit from the message that the video conveys. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell.